and start focusing on discipline yourself, doing the things that you say you're going to do despite how you feel that's going to lead to your desired success. Don't just do things when you feel like it, but do it when you don't feel like it, because that is how you start to overcome laziness. That's how you start overcoming procrastination, and that's how you start moving on the path of realizing the goals and dreams of your life. You see, the truth about self-discipline is you will never ever master it. It's only something that you can do every day to work on yourself. You try to get more disciplined days than undisciplined days. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have lapses. You're going to have things that's going to happen in your life that can knock you off path. But if you continue to self-discipline yourself, doing those things, keep pushing forward, you will find yourself becoming a more disciplined person, and you start getting more things done in your life. What's up, it's Gene. It's Word to Be Great, and I'm here to help you to build a self-discipline to achieve your greatness. Are you feeling that self-discipline? You've already started the new year and you told yourself that you're going to do something to get it done, but you find yourself falling off. You find yourself not doing the things that you say you was going to do this new year. That's going to lead you to fulfilling that New Year's resolution, fulfilling those goals or that dream that you have inside of you. And I believe the reason that many of us struggle with being self-disciplined is because we don't understand the difference between discipline and self-discipline. And that's what I want to discuss with you. I remember when COVID was going on and we had all these students that was in the schools and they had to do all their work at home. Now, when I decided to go substitute teach during the pandemic, and I was looking at some of the students' grades, and I noticed that a lot of them had 10s, 12s, 15s, 5s. I mean, they was failing. And when they told the students to start coming back to the school slowly, I started asking this question that made me realize how much we really struggle with self-discipline, not just as teenagers, but it's something that we can relate to as adults. So when the students were in the classrooms, I was asking class after class, do you struggle with self-discipline? And I say what I mean by that is when your teacher's not in the classroom, standing over you, telling you what to do, watching you do your work, did you find it very hard to do the work that was assigned to you when you was at home by yourself? And I said, if that describes you, raise your hand. And in almost every class that I had, almost all the students raised their hand. And some of the things they were telling me is that I didn't do the work because I didn't feel like it. I know I should do the work. I know I told myself I was going to do the work, but I just didn't feel like it. I decided to watch TV. I decided to play video games. I did everything that I knew I wasn't supposed to do, and that's why I'm failing. Now, that probably sounds familiar to you in your own life when it pertains to your goals and your dreams, right? You have something you want to do, but you're failing at it because you're failing at self-discipline. Now, you're probably working on a job. You're probably a college student, and you're at that job every day on time because your manager has told you if you've been late or you keep being late, you're going to be fired. Or if you're in a college and you're in a university, your professor is giving you a syllabus, and the professor told you that if you don't get your work done, you're going to fail the class, which can lead you being put out of school. You see, the thing is, discipline is when something is forced upon us. That's when somebody else has laid out a plan for us, an agenda for us, whether that's a job, whether that's a classroom. And in order for us to follow through on that plan or that agenda, they have to have consequences associated with it to make us take action. And see, most of us, we're used to that. We had that in elementary school. We had it in middle school. We had it in high school, college. We had it on our jobs. So when it's time for us to do something on our own, we struggle because we don't have somebody else telling us what we need to get done and have a consequences tied to that to make us take action. And see, that right there is discipline. That is different from self-discipline because self-discipline is when you do the productive things you said you're going to do, despite how you feel that's going to lead to your desired success. You see, when you're self-disciplined, you don't need nobody to stand over you and tell you to get things done. When you're self-disciplined, you're the student that get your homework done. When you're self-disciplined, you're the student that was passing during the pandemic. And when you self-discipline, you are the college student that work on himself outside of his classes. You are the person in corporate America that works on yourself despite the job telling you to do so or not. And that is what self-discipline is all about. Now, to be honest with you, go a little deeper than that. See, self-discipline is when you also decide not to do something that is of a lower nature because you want to do something at a higher nature that's going to lead you to the things you want to accomplish. For example, when I was back in my hood, right now, I really had this dream of going to college. I want to play college basketball and things like that. I remember a lot of my friends, they'd be like, hey, Gene, let's go smoke weed. Hey, Gene, let's go do this and that. Now, to be honest with you, those things were more popular to do. Those are the things that you could do with ease. And I knew those were things of a lower nature. They weren't going to help me to reach my goal of going to college, getting out the hood, and one day playing college basketball. So what I decided to do is I sacrificed those lower nature activities. I focused on working on my basketball game. I focused on keeping my body in shape. And because I was willing to discipline myself, I was able to move on to go to college and play college basketball. Now, when I got to college, there was more temptations. There was more things I had to deal with. You see, one thing that I learned when I was playing college basketball is that when you're a college athlete, man, you had so many opportunities to engage in so many different things, especially when it pertains to going to parties. Now, out of my whole 8 years of going to college, I went to one party. And I remember when I was at that party, I was thinking to myself, everybody was drunk, acting a fool. I felt so out of place. And I was thinking to myself, this is a waste of my time. You see, I knew that was something that was of a lower nature. And it was something I knew I didn't want to keep on participating in. So what I decided to do is I started going to class, focusing on my books, going work out, practice, working on my basketball game, even when I was by myself. I was willing to sacrifice the lower nature for the higher nature. So I had a good time playing basketball. I ended up graduating from college. And then when I moved on to the corporate world, it was the same situation. You see, in the corporate world, I wanted to be the best at my job when I was a wellness coach, when I was a behavior change specialist. I wanted to make sure as an exercise physiologist that I was the best possible coach that I could be to my members. And one thing that all my friends like to do, or my colleagues like to do, is after work, they always want to go to like this happy hour thing, go get alcohol, get drinks, things like that. And so they will always invite me. So one day I said to myself, I'm going to go to the happy hour to see what it was like. And when I went to this happy hour, I realized it was not happy at all. It was sad. It was depressed because the only thing that happened was my colleagues talked about how much they hated their job. They talked about how they didn't like another colleague. They talked about all the things they wish they would have did. And I've noticed that it was something of a lower nature that wasn't going to move me towards my goal of one day owning my own business. You see, I knew I wanted to be an author. I knew I wanted to be a speaker. I knew I wanted to do more with my life. But in order for me to do so, I had to discipline myself. I had to have that self-discipline. So instead of me going to the happy hour or the sad hour with my colleagues, what I started to do instead, when I got out of work, I didn't sit in traffic. I went to the coffee shop, I went to the library, and I worked on myself. I engaged in personal development. I was reading books. I was studying speech. I was studying communication skills. I was doing everything I could to put myself in a position to have the success that I desire. You see, whatever it is you're trying to accomplish in your life, you have to realize that discipline is when somebody is forcing something on you. You will only go as far as you allow somebody else to force that discipline on you, whatever that agenda is, whatever that plan is. But if you discipline yourself through self-discipline, you do the productive things you say you're going to do, despite how you feel, that's going to lead to your desired success. Whatever that is for you, you will find yourself you will put yourself on a position to live out the dreams, to achieve the goals, to make the New Year's resolution become a reality in your life because of self-discipline. So I want to encourage you to sit down and ask yourself, am I being disciplined more by other people? Am I allowing other people's agenda to mold my life? And then ask yourself, what are the ways that I can, discipline myself? What are things I can do to enact self-discipline in my own life? Because it's those things that's going to allow you to achieve the greatness that's inside of you. Now, I want to encourage you to do this. Find something that's small. Whatever your goal or dream is that you want to do, find something that's small that will allow you to succeed. For example, I remember I was coaching this lady and she was determined. Her New Year's resolution is she wanted to lose like 20, 30 pounds or something like that. And I was writing her exercise plan for her, and she was telling me, she said, as soon as the new year start, I'm gonna go to the gym 2, 3 hours a day. I'm gonna work extremely hard. I'm gonna lose this weight. And I said, ma'am, I hate to discourage you, but you're not gonna do any of that. You know why? Because the moment you go in that gym for 2 or 3 hours, you're gonna burn yourself out to the point you're just gonna quit. You're gonna give up. So I said, I want to suggest this to you instead. She said, what's that? I said, why don't you just do this? I said, when was the last time you been to the gym? She said, I haven't been to the gym in it's about 5 or 6 years. I haven't went in the gym. I said, okay, how about this? What do you normally do when you get off of work? She said, normally when I go home, I sit down, I watch TV. That's what I do. I sit down, relax, and I watch TV. My favorite show comes on. I said, okay, now this is a great opportunity. That what you're doing right there is an activity of a lower nature. You're just watching TV. You know what I'm saying? You're not doing anything towards your goals of losing 20 pounds or 30 pounds, whatever it is you want to lose. So I want to encourage you to choose something that's of a higher nature. Instead of getting home, relaxing, and watching TV, why don't you get home, do what you need to do, and get in your car and just drive to the gym every day? She said, why would I just drive to the gym? I'm not going to the gym. I say, no, just drive to the gym, go in the parking lot, and then go back home. She said, Gene, that doesn't make any sense. That doesn't even help me reach my goal. I said, actually, it makes a lot of sense once you start doing it. You see, when I was coaching this lady for about a week and a half, all she did was drove to the gym. She didn't even go in the gym. She just drove to the gym. And the reason I had her doing that is because I was trying to help her overcome the bad habit that she developed of a low nature of going home every day and watching television, with a new habit of driving herself to the gym, which is something of a high nature, because it was going to push her towards the goal that she had for herself. And after about a week and a half of that, I say, ma'am, okay, why don't you go in the gym now and just walk on a treadmill for about a minute? She said, okay. So she did that for a while. But you know what ended up happening? Because that lady was starting to get used to sacrificing that low nature for a high nature, going to the gym. She was going to that gym. She was walking on that treadmill, not 1 minute, but 2 minutes sometimes, 5 minutes. They went to 10 minutes to 30 minutes. And because of the continuous routine of doing it on a daily basis, she was able to sacrifice that low nature and replace it with a high nature, going to the gym, and that allowed her to stay on the path of losing that weight. See, that's what you're going to have to do. You're going to have to enact self-discipline in your life just like this lady did. You see, when it started out, I was telling her things she needed to do. I was putting a discipline on her. But after a while, when she kept doing the things she said she wanted to do, despite how she feel that would lead to her desired success, she started taking the wheel of her life. She started disciplining herself. She started going to the gym. She started focusing on her work, her weight. And she didn't have to need me anymore because she had become self-disciplined. So I want to encourage you guys out there, whoever you are, I know that you've been disciplined a while by somebody else having a plan for you, agenda for you. I want to encourage you to start creating your own plan, to create your own agenda. You might have to work with somebody a little bit. You might have to get you a coach, a self-discipline coach like myself or somebody else that can help you to get started. But whatever you choose to do, I want to encourage you to get started, to stop focusing on being disciplined by others all the time and start focusing on disciplining yourself, doing the things that you say you're going to do despite how you feel that's going to lead to your desired success. Don't just do things when you feel like it, but do it when you don't feel like it, because that is how you start to overcome laziness. That's how you start overcoming procrastination, and that's how you start moving on the path of realizing the goals and dreams of your life. You see, the truth about self-discipline is you will never, ever master it. It's only something that you can do every day to work on yourself. You try to get more disciplined days than undisciplined days. You're going to have setbacks. You're going to have lapses. You're going to have things that's going to happen in your life that can knock you off path. But if you continue to self-discipline yourself, doing those things, keep pushing forward, you will find yourself becoming a more disciplined person, and you start getting more things done in your life. So I want to encourage you, take control of your life, discipline yourself, go after things that you truly want in your heart, because you are worthy to be great. If you like this video, I want to ask you to like and share this video. Also, if you're struggling with your self-discipline, I want to encourage you to get a copy of my new book, Worthy to be Great, How to Build Self-Discipline to Achieve Your Greatness. Just click the link below or in my profile and get your copy today.